Hello everyone, and welcome back to This Week in Mythic Plus. Now this week our affixes are heavily swayed towards tanks, so let's go over them. The first affix this week is Teeming, which makes it so that there's more non-boss enemies throughout the dungeon, so that just means more trash. The second affix is Necrotic, which means that when an enemy hits you, be it a non-boss or a boss enemy, it applies a debuff that nerfs the healing you take in by 3%, and this affects stacks. So that means that when you're over 33 stacks, you no longer receive any healing at all. And the final affix is Tyrannical, which means that the bosses have more HP and do more damage. So tanks, again, this week the affixes affect you directly. The fact that Teeming and Necrotic are in the same week just means that your Necrotic stacks are gonna go up that much faster because there's more mobs swinging at you. So this week, be very ready to kite and be ready to run away faster than normal. So I would suggest jumping in, using burst aggro to pick up everything, and once you get to about 15 stacks, consider throwing out your stun followed by your snare and begin kiting that pack until your Necrotic falls off and then you jump in again. Now Tyrannical also means that the boss mechanics hurt, so if you can avoid a boss mechanic, please make sure you avoid it, because this week with a few stacks of Necrotic and big boss damage, you can very easily go down. If you do have a Pridas, this week it'll help you stay in the pack a little bit longer by providing you an extra bubble before you do any pull. And before you do the big pulls in any of the dungeons, just make sure that your movement ability is off of cooldown, because those big packs will stack up to 15 stacks of Necrotic very quickly, so make sure you're ready to run away. Now DPS. This week the trash is a big focus because of Necrotic, so you do want to bring in your AoE and cleave spec. You also want to save heroism this week for bosses because of Tyrannical. Some of the bosses can last a little too long, and with Necrotic can lead to a tank death. So make sure you save hero for the bosses with a huge HP pool. Since we also have Tyrannical this week, make sure that you do not get hit by any boss mechanics, since they can easily result in a one-shot. And about 10 seconds into any of the pulls, make sure that you start helping your tank kite. So after about 10 seconds, throw out some stuns, throw out some snares, and help your tank run away. Healers, you do also want to avoid boss mechanics yourself, since this is in one-shot territory with Tyrannical if you're pushing a high enough key. You also want to pick up any talents that you have that might reduce damage that's incoming, as opposed to increasing your healing. And this is to combat Necrotic. Necrotic will cancel out all of your healing, but it won't cancel out any damage reduction abilities, so try to pick those up this week. Before any of your pulls happen, make sure that your tank is at 100% and keep them at 100% as much as possible early on in the pull, just because as the pull goes on, Necrotic stacks get higher and your healing becomes less and less effective. If your tank is not kiting when he has more than 15 stacks, consider using one of your damage reduction abilities. So overall this week, focus on trash and on big boss abilities. You want the trash to go down as soon as possible, and you also want to avoid taking too much damage from bosses. This week you should also help your tank kite as much as possible, because Teeming and Necrotic make the stacks add up very quickly, and this week really falls heavily on your tank and their ability to kite. So all in all, if you are comfortable with Necrotic as a tank, or if you have a tank that is comfortable with Necrotic, this week is going to be about a 6 out of 10. However, if you are new to Necrotic, if you are not comfortable kiting, then this week can spike up to an 8 out of 10 because Teeming is making Necrotic worse. So get out there, try to get your plus 15 done, and remember, at plus 15, Tyrannical is going to make those boss abilities hit that much harder. So if you do have Pridas, throw it on just for those Tyrannical bosses that hit everybody. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, good luck out there.